Hello everyone!
Welcome to Galui's Mood Food.
Let's tempt your taste buds. Okay, the first part of this dish is you want to get your tomatoes. Now we grew some homegrown tomatoes. Now if you don't grow your own tomatoes, you might want to try farmer's market and get their fresh tomatoes. If tomatoes are out of season, go to your grocery store, get your best tomatoes you can find, which are usually the vine ripened tomatoes. But what you want to do is you want to get maybe, I'd say 6 to 7 tomatoes, depending on how many people you're going to be feeding. What we're going to do today is probably going to feed about 4 people. Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to get your tomato. You want to cut it in half, and you want to take out the middle part here and any imperfections, because fresh tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes, will have imperfections. I'm going to cut all these out. You want to put them in a bowl. Cut out your middles here. And what you want to do is you want to take your tomatoes and you want to toss them next with some olive oil. Get yourself some extra virgin olive oil. Put some in all over your tomatoes. Make them some happy tomatoes. Mix that all up there. Make sure they all get that good olive oil all over them. And what you want to do is you want to take your tomatoes, put them meat side down so the skins are showing. And take all these, put them in a nice pan here. And what we're going to do next is we're going to take these tomatoes and we're going to stick them in the broiler. Okay, after we have all our tomatoes in our pan, you got to make sure you get all your olive oil. Spread that all over the tops. Clean your hands here. We're going to just get a little bit of salt. We use sea salt. Put a little bit of salt on the top of these, and what we're going to do is we're going to set the oven to roast, and we're going to put them on the top rack, and we're going to pop them in, and we want to get them all nice and charred and have a really beautiful brown charred flavor and color, and that's how we're going to start our sauce. Okay, we're going to pop these in the oven. On the broil, you got to keep an eye on them because you don't want them to burn. You just want them to have a nice brownish char where the skins get nice and sweated out and bubbly and crispy and really good flavor. We'll be right back. Okay, after your tomatoes have been in the oven and they're on broil and they've got a nice cook to them, where the skins have sweat a little bit, got a nice little char brown to them, they should come out, they should look like this. Okay, if they're, I'm going to show you what you do with them next. Get them in the pan with some other good ingredients and stick around, I'll be right back. Okay, next thing we do is we get some extra virgin olive oil. Put a good amount in your pan. Get that heating up. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to get our garlic. Cut the ends off here. Throw the skins away. You want to take it. Smash it down here good. Get the rest of that skin, just falls right off there. And we're going to use about 4 cloves and chop this up real fine. Get a nice chop on that. So you know, get a big hunk of garlic, but you still want that great flavor. You put this in your olive oil. And while this is heating up, I started our tomatoes already. They're going to start like this. You want to cut them up into chunks. Get that nice chunk going here. I use this one here that the garlic was on. You get the rest of your tomatoes. And again, you want to get that nice chop. You get all those fresh juices out of there, that nice charred taste from the skin. And while that's going on, you want to get a little bit of white wine. You want to mix it in with the pan that you just cooked your tomatoes in so you can get all those nice drippings off the bottom. I'd say maybe 1/4 of a cup. And now your garlic's starting to sizzle and starting to brown. You just want to get it till it's nice and brown here. You don't want it to burn. Just want to get a nice brown on it. About a medium heat, something like that, just to get it started. Once that garlic starts cooking, you can smell it cooking along. This is like Italian perfume. There we go. That's doing good. Well, once that garlic's browned up, nice and brown, you want to take your tomatoes. Ooh, watch out with that juice. You want to start putting your tomatoes in there. You can hear them cooking, can't you? Get all that wonderful tomato in there. Skin and all. Get that in there, get that cooking up. Keep stirring this up here. Want to get it on a little high heat. Get those tomatoes cooking. You see any more bigger chunks, just chop them up with your spoon. And while that's cooking, you want to get your pan with your little bit of wine. By now it should have taken some of that beautiful drippings that you had. Get that all loosened up. Set this to the side for a second. Now you want to add some parsley flakes that we grow our own. But like I said, dry parsley flakes. Do a nice handful of that. Some Italian oregano. Not too much oregano because oregano can make things a little bitter. I'm going to take that, break it up, get all that flavor going on in there. You know, this is a happy dish. And of course, your Italian sweet basil. Nice little handful like this. Again, you want to break this up, get it in there. Add yourself a little more salt, some black pepper. You can use cracked black pepper, but we prefer this. Get all those flavors stirring up in here. You can see it starts to fry a little bit because all that water from the tomatoes is cooking off and it's blending all these flavors together. You keep letting that cook here a little bit. You get yourself just a little bit of crushed red pepper just for the heat. If you don't like the heat, that's fine. We like a little bit of heat on ours. You see just a little bit there. color's coming. Oh, it smells so good. If you had smell-o-vision, this would be great. Once you get that frying up here a little bit, you want to take your wine with all your drippings from your tomatoes. You just want to pour that right in there. Now, if your tomatoes are fresh, they're probably pretty sweet. They have a great flavor. But if by chance you get the tomatoes that are on an off season, it's not a sin to add a little bit of sugar if the tomatoes have too much of an acid taste. Or if you choose not to put sugar, what you can do is get a sweeter white wine and put that in just to cut the acid and that flavor from the tomatoes. We're going to cook this down, and while this is cooking, we're going to come back and show you. We're going to make our pasta, and this is going to get poured all over the pasta. It's a quick and easy meal, great flavor. Your family will love it. Don't worry about the wine. All the alcohol in the wine will cook off, so all you're getting is basically the flavor of the wine, so it's not something you can't feed your family. Okay, y'all stick around, we'll be right back. Well, here's what we got. We got our tomatoes, or our broasted tomatoes, which are broiled and roasted. I'm going to have a little bit of wine. I have Paula's foo-foo glass because she made me put our jelly jars away for this episode. I don't know why, but she did. Anyway. And this is the wine we put in here. You can see what it looks like right now. The liquid's kind of cooked off and it's got nice and thick and a beautiful consistency. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the burner over here just to keep warm. We're going to put it on low just to keep it warm. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our water for our noodles. And this is a 12 quart 12 quart pot. We're going to put this on high, and we're going to fill it up about, I'd say maybe a third, if that, because we're going to make about a half a box of angel hair pasta. And what I'm going to show you now is something you're not going to see on most Food Network shows. They don't tell you this, but what we do, and it actually makes it good, if you're going to make something that has garlic in it, if you're making pasta, what you want to do is you want to put these flavors in the water, because your noodles are going to absorb this flavor, and it's just going to add a new dimension to everything we're doing. So in the water you want to put some garlic powder, and don't be afraid to put a little bit too much in there. You want to put some salt, because you need the salt. Put yourself a good bit of salt in there. And over the shoulder, because I spilled some. And also, you want to get a little bit of low sodium chicken bouillon. This, believe it or not, you're not going to taste like chicken. Your food's not going to taste like chicken, but it's going to give it a really good flavor. So we're going to add a little bit of that in. And we're going to bring this water up to a boil. So y'all stick around. I'm going to enjoy me some wine. And I'll be back in a second as soon as this water starts boiling. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we've got our water to a boil, and we're going to add our angel hair pasta. And we're going to add about a half of this box. Oh, it's like pickup sticks. I'll just take those out. Now I know a lot of you foodies are just going to lose your mind when I do this, but the reason I do it is we're going to break these in half. I'm going to throw them in. There's a couple more. Throw them in too. You want to get these stirring up here for at least 2 or 3 seconds so they don't stick together. Now the reason we break them in half is because when you take your spoon and you roll your spaghetti with your fork, you're not going to have a baseball size lump of spaghetti you're going to try to feed yourself. It's going to get on your chin. It's going to get all over your white clothes. Isn't a pretty sight. So you break them in half. You can get a nice golf-sized ball. It's a nice, mouthful of goodness there. So our spaghetti's cooking. It shouldn't take very long for this. So while this is cooking here, I'm going to have another couple of sups of wine. Sups, that's a word. Look it up. I'm going to have a couple sups of wine. We'll be right back. Stick with us here. We're going to put all this goodness together. You're going to love it. Stay tuned. Okay, while our noodles are cooking, we're going to show you how to make some really quick garlic bread to go along with our pasta and our broasted tomatoes. Get yourself some ciabatta bread. You can get the rolls, you can get the bread itself. Cut yourself 1, 2, 3, whatever your family's going to want. Now this is how we do it. It's a little less fat, but it's still great. You take some spray, you spray it right on your ciabatta bread there. You put it in a frying pan. You get it in a nice heat, probably about something would be like a toaster, nice and hot. What you want to do is you want to take another pan, you want to put it on there like a panini, and just let that get hot. And after it comes out, we're going to sprinkle some garlic on it for you, some garlic powder. If you do it before, don't do it before. Don't put the garlic on before, because if you do, it burns and it doesn't have a good taste. What you do, you put it on first, you get it brown, then you put your garlic powder on. We're going to check our noodles. Oh, I don't throw these against the wall. Never waste food. Oh, that's perfect. Andante. Beautiful. Going to turn this off. We're going to get our colander out here. Okay, you got your colander. Put it in the sink there. Cold water running. Saves your pipes. You don't want all this hot water going down, especially if you have the plastic pipe that everybody has nowadays. Pour your pasta right in there. Just a little bit to get some of that loose. Don't rinse your pasta. Never rinse your pasta, because the flavor in it is going to still be there, and it's going to get sticky, and it's going to absorb the sauce more. So while that's draining off here, we're going to check our ciabatta bread. Woo, that's hot. Not done yet. Okay. Put that back on. Oh, look at that. What we're going to do is we're going to plate some of this up for you. And what we do, you want to get yourself some aged Romano. Get yourself a wedge, and you can pre-do this if you have a food processor. If you don't, you can do it by hand. Grate yourself off some of this, and it has to be aged Romano. Don't try any other cheese. It's not going to be the same. Aged Romano has a flavor all its own, and it adds to this dish, I'm telling you. So just grate some of that off there. That should be about enough. Look at that. That's beautiful right there. Get your pasta scoop. And we're going to serve this up. You all stick around. We'll be right back. I'm going to have a sup of wine. We're going to plate this up for you, and we're going to have some good eats. Stick around. Okay, our noodles are done. They're in the flavored water. Our sauce is done. I'm going to check our panini. I'm sorry, our ciabatta bread. Look at that, nice and brown. What you want to do now, get yourself a plate. Get yourself a little garlic powder. And just sprinkle that right on top there. Give it a few seconds. That heat will just melt that garlic right down in there. It's beautiful. If you want, take a little bit of the Romano. Sprinkle that right on top. And this is what your spaghetti is going to look like. Isn't that beautiful? You take this aged Romano, you sprinkle that all over the top, and don't be afraid to use some because this has the flavor. It's unbelievable. Well, there you have it. Now you have it. This is broasted tomatoes and pasta. This is a quick and beautiful Italian dish. It's very easy. In no time you'll have supper ready for your family. And again, with this kind of sauce, you can make a bruschetta with it, which I said was before, but actually you can make a bruschetta. We'll show you how to make one of those later, but you can use that sauce on here, pop it in the oven. We're just having garlic bread. It's time to eat. Thank you very much for watching Galui's Mood Food. We appreciate you coming around. We're gonna have some food right now, so y'all stick around. Come on, Bull, let's have some food here.
Got your fork?
Take care, y'all. Oh, you got the
You got your fork.
Guess I can know it and need it. I overlooked one thing. Love may be blind, but it sure saw me coming. I always thought I was wiser than your average fool. I knew just what to expect, and it sure wasn't you. Now I understand what confuses a woman about this whole love thing. When you think you figured it out, along comes someone like you, and now I haven't a clue. I haven't